What's going on, everybody? We are live for another episode. Talking Hex, Pulschain, and PulseX. Not much going on. Not much going on in the crypto sphere right now, in terms of price action. But let's just take a look at the charts. There we go. Whoops. Share screen. We got Bitcoin right here, 16,971. A little down today. And then we got Hex is also down a little bit. Went up all the way to about 2.9 and now back down. Not much price action, honestly, for like nothing major since back here. Honestly, entire summer, I think it's pretty much been going sideways, but we started heading down a little bit. Let's see how much further we're going to get. The question is that wallet with 200 million hex or something, is he going to keep selling? And and also at the same time, you have people that, have a lot of money. Are they going to buy it up? When are they going to buy it up? I think there would come a point where, there would be enough buy pressure to really cancel that out. But I don't know. Have we hit max pain yet? Check out Hex daily stats. We had 97 less yesterday. Today we got another 54 new holders. And what's interesting is current stakers, you got another 238. So we're at 115 and a half, 115, 556 current stakers. That continues to go up. But yeah, nothing really major happening in terms of price action, because we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But if we check out Twitter, saw something funny with Peter McCormick. We all remember the debate he had with Richard Hart. Can someone check my Lambo math? Get a BlockFi loan for $200,000, 8 BTC deposit, pay 4.5% APR interest, buy Rad Lambo, open interest account, deposit 16 BTC, 33,000 interest per year. Interest covers loan plus depreciation, free Lambo. It's like, seems like, yeah, so I'll say that after. He said, so this was in February. The guy responds, you forgot the get wrecked step. Where's the wrecked part? And then 2 days ago, this guy responds, just in, crypto lender BlockFi files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It's just so funny how time moves so fast in this space. It was only 6 months ago where, like, maybe a little more now, it was 8 months ago, where these lending platforms were the norm. They were credible. They supposedly were honest. They had integrity. They even talked about having insurance. Pretty much every content creator used their affiliate links or had, Alex Mashinsky on their show, or had the guy from BlockFi, Zach, on their show. You had Simon Dixon talking about Celsius and how great it was. It's passive income, early retirement. Like people thought that all their gains in crypto will just give them passive income for the rest of their life, to live off the interest, even if it was in stable coins or something like that. And like, there was only one person that was really speaking very heavily against it. And we all know who that was. That was obviously Richard Hart. And he's looking like a huge Chad now. And I guess, yeah, FTX was also the major affiliate. That was the mainstream exchange. Just everybody was shilling the affiliates, and everybody was speaking so highly of these people, except for one person. And time has really revealed the truth. It's so clear cut now. It's so obvious how harmful they were. And the question is if the cycle is going to keep repeating itself. Like, is everyone going to forget the same way that they forgot about Mt. Gox and Quadru CX and Cryptopia? Is it just going to repeat itself, and all the new people are going to be getting these links from people like Peter McCormick and people like whatever. We don't have to really name all of them, but you know who I'm talking about. For the affiliates, like, is that just going to keep on happening? That would really be bad. But I think it's a good chance it won't. I think regulation is going to come in, and I think crypto's gotten so much adoption that it would be pretty flagrant if they were doing this in a dishonest way. That's really my take on that. Let's take a look at. I love this Twitter account at KDP Crypto. Please follow her. Like, excellent updates and things like that. And obviously, please follow me on Twitter. Don't have many followers. I really appreciate it. And obviously, please sign up to my email list. Link is in the description. Takes a second just so I could stay in touch with you. But yeah, some of her tweets I really liked. This is big. This was 6 hours ago. Loudest crypto communities, Hex weekly analytics show adoption. Hex community is thriving. If you think we'll break Twitter cycle, so like if you think we'll break Twitter cycle, and then here are the metrics. So 7-day Hex social mentions measured daily hit 17,000. That's the highest in 90 days. So price is going down. Social mentions is going up like crazy. 7-day Hex social mentions measured daily hit 17,000. That's 541% above the 90-day average. And 7-day Hex social dominance daily hit 0.6232. So that's 364% above the 90-day average. It's like the EMA 30-day moving average. So it's kind of like, yeah, 364% up in a bear market. That's so, community being intact during a bear market is key. Community is the number one metric. That is consensus for the value. And when you see activity like this, when price is depreciating, that is just huge. That is huge. Here's another one I liked. Hex is the top trending and viewed on CoinMarketCap. You can gatekeep us at 201. We don't need you. CoinMarketCap retweet, so CoinMarketCap knows Hex is strong with or without them. Yeah, please like and retweet this. But that's crazy. So I guess top 10 in CoinMarketCap. When being gatekept, listed at 201 during a bear market, when the price is down 95% is huge. Just imagine what the engagement's going to be like when the price is actually going up, when people are having mad gains. And this is a good question. What do you want more? The Hex bear market to be over or PulseChain? Let me know in the chat what you want more. Okay. Yeah. So then we have this. Hex Machine at Hex Machine V2B. Please follow him on Twitter. He's excellent. He thinks Crypto Man ran for for having Richard on to destroy Mike Alfred and other guy. I don't even know his name. Jordy Alexander. They got exposed as shallow-minded frauds again. So big shout out to Hexkins for highlighting great material. That was awesome material. Let's just have a look if we can.
Speaks to the general strategy that people should have around their balance sheet here. I think there's two strategies that sort of work well. One is just selling your Bitcoin every day.
Selling your Bitcoin every day. That was a big thing that Richard Hart talked about with negative externalities. Basically, obviously, let's take a look at what the mining. Yeah, if you look at the mining rig, like how expensive it is to maintain it, and then you obviously have salaries, you have mechanics, you have people cleaning it up. It's so ridiculous. It's so not necessary. There's ways to secure a network with proof of stake now. BNB does it, Cardano does it, Ethereum, the most used blockchain, now does it, and it works fine. There's no reason for this. And obviously, like Mike said himself, in order to keep the margins, in order to make a profit, to turn a profit, they have to keep selling their Bitcoin.
It comes from the same place Bitcoin miners' revenue comes from.
Can you guys hear?
See, Bitcoin has locking as well. You lock up your money in mining hardware, and you lock up your money in electricity bills.
There's two strategies that sort of work well. One is just selling your Bitcoin every day.
That hurts the price, but rewards people for on-ramping. So Ethereum inflates, it has net inflation, and yet the price points are checked. Bitcoin inflates, and that's how you go from 0 coins to 19 million coins over 10 years, is by hyperinflating, basically. And its inflation used to be exponentially higher. It was 2 times higher every 4 years we go back. And so the best time to buy Bitcoin was when there was no liquidity. There was one place to buy it in the world, Mt. Gox. Everyone called it a scam. And all the coins were owned by one guy. And then you look at Hex and you're like, it has centralized ownership. Look, all the coins are in basically a couple addresses. Look, everyone calls it a scam. Look, it has low liquidity. Look, it's only traded a couple places. And you're like, hey, those are exact same properties that allowed Bitcoin to go up 69 million%.
Yeah, so obviously we know that a lot of people say that Hex has a lot of similarities to Bitcoin in its early days. But what I really liked about this, is how Richard said that the time when Bitcoin had its greatest gains, its greatest price appreciation, was actually during when it had its highest inflation. And I think that's very important. Like that is key, like to understanding, what makes something valuable, what causes things to lose value and things like that. It's not just an increase in the supply for the money to be devalued, or for crypto to be devalued. And you see, it's actually like the opposite of what everyone thinks. As Bitcoin becomes less and less inflationary, the gains get smaller and smaller, because it really just comes down to adoption and like how many people are using it. And the more people use it, the less people there are really to adopt it. I'm saying the less people there are really to onboard. So as a percentage. So I'm saying when you have a lot of people coming in the beginning, it's an insane percentage appreciation. It's like many multiples. Like when you have one person using Bitcoin and then you onboard one person, then that's a 100% increase. But then when you have 10 people, you have 9 people, and then you onboard one person, that's only a 10% increase. So I think there is some sort of correlation of the price action with that in some sort of way. It's not direct, but meaning the more people that you have in the community, the less people there are to bring in. So, your returns diminish. That's not to say that a crypto, once it achieves full adoption, it's only going to go down. I think because the money supply is always expanding, there's always more money to go in it. And, there's a limited amount of needs that people have. Meaning like people only need to spend so much money, and they'll just keep, and with the excess money, they'll just leave it in, let's say, Bitcoin, and they won't cash out, and then the price could just go higher and higher. But it is to say that despite the high inflation, the best times to get in are in its earliest stages. And And the increase in the supply is not as important as people think. It is important, but it really is dependent on that supply, on the liquidity, and that supply being, cashed out on exchanges for dollars and things like that. The velocity, as they say in economics. If that makes any sense. What do we got here? Oh, and I like this one. This is the last Hex one. Then I got some PulseChain updates, because I know everyone likes PulseChain. I know PulseChain. I think in the short term, I think PulseChain is going to be the best performing crypto, in my opinion, not financial advice. I think Hex is better in the long run, but PulseChain is the hype. It is the exciting ecosystem. But says, if you're not buying 95% discount Hex Solana, I'll follow her at stake Hex5555, can't help you once PulseChain launches. Most are speculating which will perform better, Pulse versus PLSX, when the answer is Hex will outperform everything. This isn't financial advice because it's winning in life, math advice, LOLs. 95% off. Definitely a great time to DCA, in my opinion, not financial advice. But it is interesting that also she said that Hex is going to outperform Pulse and PulseX. I do believe that in the long run. I think game theory matters. I think incentivizing not selling matters. But I think when you're looking at two cryptos, well, it's really three, because Pulse and PulseX, that I believe are going to make it. The first cycle outperforms the second cycle, and Pulse is in its first cycle. But if you think you're just going to buy Pulse and not Hex, and you'll be better off, for me personally, not financial advice, I don't think that's true. I think you're gonna gravitate towards those tendencies of like trying to time the market, and when you try to time the market, you always lose. With Hex, you time lock, and that's when you cash out, and you're really not gonna get shaken out and sell early, and you're also earning the yield. So that's really what I think about that. But yeah, moving on. We got PulseChain news and talk. Some good stuff for PulseChain. Please follow at Pulse_chain news. Great account, great updates. We see here. Just going to post this Reddit snippet of some wise words and reassurance for all those who are worried about PulseChain and PulseX, i.e., it will launch. So, what does he say? Why would anyone think it isn't going to launch? There are so many reasons not to think there is or ever be a rub burn for anyone. So he said, one is Richard Hart tweets every day and still lets us know it is being worked on, and that is important, as ghosting is the very first sign you'd be in trouble. Yeah, that's a thing that I was looking for in the past bull market, when I'd see a coin that was doing very well on let's say KuCoin or something. I'd go to the project on CoinMarketCap, I find the website, and then I go to the Twitter, and like so many of them, they haven't tweeted in months or even years, and like, okay, there's a rug pull. Yeah, so like that is the number one sign. That is definitely the number one sign of something being a rug. It's obvious, and well, maybe not the number one. The number one might actually be anonymous founder, but if the founder is not anonymous and hasn't tweeted in weeks or months already, that's already a big red flag. Then he says, 2, devs are doing good work on the chain. At least we know they are logging into GitLab every day, since they have not made the code public yet. Okay. 3, all the vast amounts of SAC money is still sitting there and not being spent on $40 million houses in the Bahamas. Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, I guess for all the people that think that Richard's just spending the SAC money on those clothing that he's using for outreach marketing, it's still there. 4 is we are in the bottom of a bear, so who wants to launch now? Go look at crypto.com's chart and see what happens when you launch in the last year. And that is with all of their marketing. Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone was thinking it was a good idea for Richard to launch during the bottom of the bear market, whatever. And I don't think he's intentionally doing it, but why is everyone getting upset? Why is everyone getting upset if he hasn't launched it yet? Being that there's like so much of a cascade of in the price, like being that the price has performed so poorly lately, and It would bring people like to think it would decorrelate. I don't think so. It would probably go down below the SAC rate if it was launched, let's say, when Bitcoin was at 20,000 and then went down to 15. So, like, why are people even complaining? People have this, I think, false. I personally don't think it's true that like PulseChain is somehow going to bring Hex back to all-time highs. You need good market conditions. Market conditions matter. Market conditions matter for crypto. That was the big lesson of this bull market. There's no decorrelation. And then he said 5. There's a movie about him waiting to be released for the same reason why Pulse is waiting to be released, waiting till the market shows a sign of life again. Who is a movie about himself and then steals 70,000 people's money. Yeah. If you still think that Richard is just taking people's money, I mean, that's ridiculous. Hex has been around for 3 years and no way never sold. So I think it's very obvious that it's not a rug, but this is good. This is good. Like, maybe screenshot this, and if someone on Twitter ever, tells you Richard's just walking away with everyone's money, you could just show them this. This is a very foolproof case to show that it's very obvious that he's not a scammer and it's not a rug pull. I think the idea of Richard being a scammer, if you have half a brain, I think that's already obsolete. I mean, there are still some dum-dums out there that, or some normies that are basically saying, oh yeah, he's a scammer. I saw his clothing or whatever. I saw he was spending tons of money on like silly things. Like, he looks just like a scammer. But I'm saying, if you know the substance, if you know about the origin address, if you know about the SAC money not being spent, and if you know about Hex's price performance and the way it changed people's lives, and you know about, his streams, him being the most, forthright and honest person, the most like lucid in terms of like how crypto operates and things like that. And he's not a scammer. If you just like have a brain and you could listen to his live stream, he's not a scammer. Also, he doesn't monetize his videos. You can't pay him if you tried. You cannot give Richard Hart money even if you tried. There's no wallet for donations. There's no Cash App in the links. There's no affiliate links. Let me like and retweet that. So to me, the devs are working on it till the market shows signs of recovery. I think Richard Hart and most people believe that will be in the next 1 to 6 months. I think once that happens, he will launch it. We will all be singing his outrage marketing or just a-hole marketing, as he could be outrageous without being so damn mean about it, in my opinion. Praises in 1 year when PLS will be one of the biggest success stories in crypto. So I like what he's saying here, where he's saying we will all be singing his outrage marketing praises, because it's so funny how sentiment changes when the price changes. Because literally, I remember when we were at all-time highs and he was doing all these unboxes, there was not a peep about like frustration over the outrage marketing and how it's hurting Hex and how it's bad for Hex, whatever. And then the price goes to all-time lows, and then everyone has their opinion on how we should be doing things differently. When he said that the price drops 90%, crypto drops 95% all the time. It's like I said, the difference between the outrage marketing is awesome and it's so effective and it's working, and the outrage marketing is destroying Hex and it's not going to make it, is the difference of the price being 50 cents and the price being 3 cents. It's the only difference. Because if you really look at the metrics, you look at the onboarding, you look at his exposure in the mainstream media, I mean, the outrage marketing is working. The example I give is when they asked Charles Payne, one of the Hexkins asked Charles Payne to have Richard Hart on. He said if he brings his watches, which means that the watches did catch his attention. I mean, that's probably why he was able to. That definitely had an effect on getting on Charles Payne's radar, and he was able to be on Fox News, and he's coming back on Fox News. So definitely think that the outrage marketing is effective. And then this is great. We can now report that there are 3 fiat on-ramps and a 4th being built, ready for PulseChain. And at least one of them has secured a banking partner for on and offboarding to PulseChain. Okay. That's great. That is important. How we doing? You got 23 watching. Yeah, please hit the like and subscribe button if you are enjoying the content. And again, not your platform, not your not your fans, please take a second to go in the description and put your email down, just so you know if anything happens. This wasn't all done for nothing. You know, I could stay in touch with you, please. And let's get back into it. We got this Bitcoin Archive. He tweeted about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has always come across to me as positively disposed towards Bitcoin. Bear market would be a great time to orange pill him and his broader audience. Low hype, good prices. It's like they're talking about onboarding. Like, it's exciting that Joe Rogan is talking about Bitcoin. It's like everybody talked about Bitcoin already. It's not interesting. Like, it already reached that the top of the S curve, right? It already reached that point where like it's ubiquitous with market sentiment. It's talked about on TV all the time. I don't understand why people. I think they kind of are making it like they're the opposition when they're not. When Serena Williams is at the Bitcoin conference, you know, and Aaron Rodgers is at the Bitcoin conference, and Peter Thiel's at the Bitcoin conference, it's like, yeah, you are part of the system. You are not an insurgent, so to speak, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, that was interesting. I guess Bitcoin, it's not to say that, you know, Bitcoin is still better than 99% of other cryptos, but yeah, that's what I'd say. But it's not, I don't like how they're making it like there's some sort of insurgent. Like, they are the number one crypto, and they are ubiquitous with, you know, markets in general. Then we got the news. The big news is the Sam Bankman-Fried interview he had on with Andrew Ross Sorkin yesterday, and I think he's having one with George Stephanopoulos today. So yeah, Marion Knopfel, he had like a good thread, like summarizing what Sam Bankman-Fried basically said. He says, "Do you think SBF told the truth today at the Deal Book Summit? Here's a summary of what he said to help you make up your mind. I made a lot of mistakes, never tried to commit fraud. U.S. platforms is fully funded. I believe withdrawals could be open today. FTX could have margin call positions, but it didn't do so in a massive failure of oversight. They could have margin call positions." I heard that like they made it that Alameda couldn't get liquidated. So yeah, that's interesting. He said the US platforms being fully funded, that is big. If that's like, that is a big statement, because it's really like sort of a litmus test to whether he's somewhat honest sometimes or just completely lying all the time. Because if it doesn't open within the next couple of days or whatever, that likely means that it's not fully funded and it's not back to 1-to-1. But I don't know. What is it going to take to realize that he's lying? Would it be if they don't? Why did they halt withdrawals? If they're fully funded, why did they halt withdrawals? Why is there's no liquidity crunch? You can't let people access their money? That's kind of stealing. That's a little weird. Honestly, everything going on here is really weird. He said, "I was not running Alameda. I didn't know the size of their position at FTX. Position size of Alameda at FTX became larger over the course of 2022. FTX didn't have bank accounts globally in 2018, 2019, and relied on Alameda to receive client money and FTX credited clients." They didn't have bank accounts in 2018, 2019. It's weird. So he knew there was a problem November 6th. They weren't able to fill customers' withdrawals. And then I was not really cautious about a downside perspective. I was looking at a 30% down move. Then what happened was a 95% down move. He's talking about the FTT token. or just FTX in general. But why weren't you able to fill the customers' withdrawals? And why did you have so much money for lobbying, for political donations, and donations for other political causes? Like, where did the money come from? It just happens to be that there's none in your wallets for the customers that deposited, but there's so much in DC. There's so much, in the Super Bowl commercials, on the MLB umpires' shirts. It's a little bit weird. Is there anything else like really important in this thread? Yeah, he said the property purchased by his family, they were meant to be for the company and were likely temporarily under his parents' name. So why does it have to be under his parents' name? I don't know. This guy. It's like when you're caught, when there's like one thing that you say that maybe is a little bit shady, but like, okay, maybe you could get the benefit of the doubt, but then there's just so many things that don't add up. It kind of seems to start looking like maybe you're not telling the truth. The property purchased, it was meant for the company, but they did it under, is it like a kid when like he wants to buy a house or he wants to rent an apartment, he needs his parents to sign off on it. He's 30 years old and he's a billionaire. He needed his parents to get his company's houses. I don't know. I'm not buying that. And then he says, I screwed up and we messed up so big. It's not funny, honestly, but it's very sad. But he just kept on saying, sorry, I'm sorry. No wild parties at the mansions, just board games. Lame. Too many board members at all the companies. But there was no CFO. I'm saying the budgeting was that poor when you had so many board members. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could go through all the things that you probably seen so many times on Twitter about, oh, they were all laughing during the interview. That was a big thing that people were saying, that, oh yeah, they're all laughing like it's a big joke. The interview was kind of like those daytime television shows or whatever, or maybe like an Oprah kind of thing where you had maybe a celebrity that had an affair, like a Tiger Woods kind of situation. Like, it was that kind of vibe. It wasn't the vibe that like, yeah, I've screwed so many people out of their life savings. I've ruined so many lives. I've stolen money to gain political, I guess, favoritism, to gain ties with regulators and things like that, to really monopolize the crypto industry, to say I had money to buy out BlockFi when I really didn't. It was all these like terrible, terrible things. And they're just I don't even know if it's deserving of coverage like that, but the coverage was sort of like a daytime, like at the end they say, this is going all over Twitter, it's nothing new, but they're saying, oh yeah, give it up for Sam Bankman-Fried, and you got like a big round of applause. It was like, yeah, not the appropriate coverage for someone that did such crime. I mean, I'm sure there are people that really can't eat, that are like hungry, or they're having trouble feeding their family because of what he did, whether it was intentional or not. It's horrible. And I guess the main takeaway is what you see from this, really, like the favorable coverage he's getting. I mean, technically it's not favorable. Like there were some questions that were tough. There were some hardball questions from Sorkin, but considering the circumstances, considering that the humanistic treatment, like kind of treating him like he just made a mistake and putting him in an Oprah setting when he destroyed so many people's lives for his political benefit and things like that, is disgusting. I mean, that is disgusting. But the takeaway from the Sam Bankman-Fried thing is that money talks. Because what he was doing before. He was making political donations to the Democratic Party. Now they're saying a little bit to the Republican, whatever. He was meeting with the SEC chairman Gary Gensler. I I'm pretty sure there was the SEC was one of the creditors or something on FTX's balance sheet. He made some serious inroads. He went to DC. He testified in front of Congress. He met with Maxine Waters, a bunch of big congressmen, senators, and things like that. And now you see the treatment he's getting after he completely screwed everyone over. He's getting people like Kevin O'Leary saying that they'd invest in him again. He's getting a big one was, what's his name? Bill Ackman. Let's look at what Bill Ackman said. Bill Ackman. Yeah, let's look at Bill Ackman, big hedge fund manager. Call me crazy, but I think Sam Bankman-Fried is telling the truth. Yeah, so he's getting this insane treat. I deeply appreciate that. Sam Bankman-Fried replies, I messed up. I'm going to be doing everything to make it right, even though I knew it might never be enough. Oh, thank you, Sam. But yeah, the point is that he's getting this sort of treatment despite, all the horrible things he's doing, is because, money talks. Getting cozy with regulators helps. Like these things make a difference. And that's why he's getting, a lot of powerful people are, I guess you could say technically they're even criticizing him, but considering what he did and considering that the treatment that he's getting, it's really like so soft. It's like, it's almost as if they're vouching for him. It's almost as if they're backing him, as if they're defending him, like giving him such softball coverage when he did such horrible things, such unheard of things, to me is like a testament to that they have his back. They're completely behind him. If that makes any sense. And then, it's a good article here in CoinDesk. David Morris, he really documented like concisely exactly the things that he did that were bad. So the Alameda connection, or that he would say was illegal, he's alleging. So Alameda and FTX having ties. We don't have to read the whole thing. Print and collateralized loans. So basically, FTX created the FTT token that was illiquid. It's basically had 8 billion in FTT token, which was illiquid, when you had only 4 billion or something in circulation on exchanges. And then they were borrowing against that. So I remember in the interview, Sam Bankman-Fried said that they didn't have time to liquidate, but that seemed like a lie, because they couldn't liquidate. It was illiquid. You can't liquidate illiquid assets. That was really the problem. Front-running FTX listings, personal loans to executives, bailout of entities holding FTT or loans, secretive purchase of a U.S. bank. Yeah, you should check out this article, but we don't have to read the whole thing. You get the point. What do we got here? Yeah, we got the meme. You have the Shark Tank Kevin O'Leary saying, I love it, I'm in. That's good. And then there's Kim.com. Yeah, when Sam Bankman-Fried said that basically the U.S. one's fully backed, Kim.com is alleging that he's basically telling U.S. Regulators, because there's money to pay U.S.-based FTX users, there's no reason for the U.S. government to investigate me. Who cares about non-U.S. users who have lost everything? He's basically trying to say that to get out of the U.S. government investigating him and possibly arresting him, prosecuting him. I don't know. That's interesting. But yeah, I think that's enough of the FTX for now. It's very flagrant, I think, the treatment he's getting. I think you see it's very weird that he's not getting arrested, but Mashinsky also didn't get arrested. But Mashinsky didn't get these softballs. I think that's really the big thing that I was thinking. Like, Mashinsky did not get this. The media didn't run cover for him. And there was no Kevin O'Leary saying, oh, I would totally hire him for another. I would totally invest in him for another venture. Like, you didn't get any of that. And I think that the difference of that is the difference of, networking and lobbying. I think that matters. And I think, yeah, that's really the take. Moving on, I think the last thing I wanted to talk about before we went to the chat. Well, first of all, please, we got 31 watching. If you're enjoying, please support me. Not asking for money. Please hit the like button and subscribe. And click the link in the description and just put your email down. It takes a second. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not going to. It's completely private. Just do me a favor if you're enjoying the content. But if not, that's fine. I just appreciate you guys taking the time to spend it here. Giving me your time. That means a lot to me in and of itself. It really does. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the interest rate. Was the FOMC? It wasn't the FOMC. It was basically you had Powell. This is important. I know it's very like TradFi kind of thing, but you can't disaggregate the Fed monetary policy from the price performance of crypto, including Hex. We all thought there was this possibility that Hex was decorrelated. It's maybe sort of decorrelated, but it's not, like, in the sense that it's not going to move directly in tandem with Bitcoin and Ethereum because most of its liquidity is in USDC, the Hart's Law thing. But when there's less money in the system, you're not seeing all-time highs, when interest rates are 5-6%, in my opinion. But I guess if that changes, we're not going to know if that could happen until it happens. But it seems obvious. Basically, you had it was really in line with the cycles, which is a little bit weird. But when the Fed decided they were going to raise rates, that's when, crypto and stocks started going down. And the Fed matters. There's a reason why everyone tunes into the Fed. But there is sort of good news. There is sort of good news with regards to the Fed. I guess we'll start off with K4K's tweet because K4K is awesome. So please follow at K4K Crypto. I'm sure you are if you're watching the show. But he said Fed Chair Powell said they could start as early as December to start reducing increases in rates. This is good. It's very good. Retweet that. Please like and retweet that. But that is big. The first thing that I thought when I heard that was people are thinking, oh, but the rates are going to still going to start going up. But it's very interesting. So when Bitcoin was at the top, that was when the Fed, they didn't start raising rates, but they started decreasing the amount of money that they were putting in the system, like for quantitative easing, basically just injecting cash, to stimulate the economy. They were already starting to pull back on the amount they put in every month. And that's what started the top. And now that was completely in line with the top in the 4-year cycle. It was pretty much exactly on time. It was within that window of when Bitcoin was scheduled to top. So now we are in that period of time when Bitcoin is scheduled to bottom. And we obviously know that past performance is not indicative of future results. But it is interesting that during this time when crypto is supposed to be bottoming, you have the Fed, hinting or telegraphing that they are going to start slowing the rate at which they raise rates, because there is some sort of top in inflation. Inflation's starting to go down. And this is interesting. Pulse Max. Shout out to Pulse Max. Just give that a like. But there's a chart right here. So 1969, Fed pivots. There's consolidation, goes all the way up, all-time highs. 1973. These were consolidation. Fed pivots, markets going down a lot. There's this consolidation down in a short period of time, and then back up. It wasn't all-time highs, but then you made all-time highs. This is the 80. This was high inflation. Fed was raising rates, pivoted, consolidation, and wow, that's a crazy run after that. I mean, there are some tops, but we go here. We don't have to read every single time. But I remember when they were raising rates in 2019 and the market went down, and then they started cutting it. And now you have the Fed's pivoting 2023. So are we going to have that same sort of, not consolidation, capitulation? I was saying consolidation is capitulation, where there's a strong wick down and then we never look back. I don't know. It seems, I keep on saying this, and I was thinking the cycle was going to break because of the rate hike raises and inflation and things like that. And also there was the theory that cycles were going to lengthen, but that cycles did not lengthen, and the Fed pivoting is sort of in line with when the bottom should be, when there should be that capitulation. So I continue to I'm not going to say I'm a complete, follower of the 4-year cycle. I'm a complete advocate for the 4-year cycle, but I'm definitely becoming more and more of an advocate for the 4-year cycle. But I guess only time will tell, and we're not going to know until it plays out, which is why you can't think of things in terms of cycle, in terms of timing the market, in my opinion. You just have to find the crypto you think is going to go up over a long period of time and just DCA. That's really the way I see it. But wanted to just look at the CNBC article about rate hikes. So Fed Chair Powell says smaller interest rate hikes could start in December. This is what K4K alluded to. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell confirmed Wednesday that smaller interest rate increases are likely ahead, even as he sees progress in the fight against inflation as largely inadequate. Echoing recent statement from other central bank officials in comments at the November Fed meeting, Powell said he sees the central bank in position to reduce the size of rate hikes as soon as next month. He cautioned that monetary policy is likely to stay restrictive for some time until real signs of progress emerge on inflation. Despite some promising developments, we have a long way to go in restoring price stability, Powell said it in remarks delivered at the Brookings Institute. Chairman noted that policy moves such as interest rate increases and the reduction of the Fed bond holdings generally take time to make their way through the system. Thus, it makes sense to moderate the pace of our rate increases as we approach the level of restraint that will be sufficient to bring down inflation, he added. The time for moderating the pace of rate increases may come as soon as the December meeting. So Wall Street applauded it. Markets went up. Markets already had been pricing in about a 65% chance that the Fed would step down in interest rates increases to 0.5 percentage point in December, following 4 successive 75-point moves, according to the CME Group data. That pace of rate hikes is the most aggressive since the early 1980s. Following Powell's speech, the probability of a 0.5-point move rose towards 77%. What remains to be seen is where the Fed goes from here. Markets took a more dovish tone from Powell's speech, with the top rate put at just shy of 5% by May 2023, and bets that Fed will cut 0.5 point by the end of the year. So was expected in okay. It was thought that by the end of the year they'd already start cutting. I guess, yeah, so that's interesting. And I keep repeating this. That was the last article I was gonna share. But I do keep repeating this. I do believe that inflation is going to top. It's only inevitable. Prices go up too much. People don't spend, especially when you have the tight monetary policy where money's more scarce and you could earn a high rate interest rate on it. And I don't know, there's various reasons why raising rates is deflationary. So you have the US dollar, the inflation. So I think the Fed is sort of waiting for confirmation, because one lower than expected CPI print is not enough to really go dovish. They're probably going to want maybe 2-3 in a row. Or maybe not in a row, but 2 or 3. It's sort of reflexive. So if inflation goes down a lot over, let's say, 2 reads, there is going to be a bounce up where it's higher than expected or just higher, you know, maybe the next month, but the overall trend is down. You want to see a reversal in the trend. That's really what you want to see. And the CPI was 8.4, but the 2 months ago, and then this past month, the CPI was 7.7, which is a lot lower than expected. I guess we're just going to have to see how this plays out. But I really think everything I think inflation is going to top. And I guess the biggest thing I'd want to say is, I know people don't like to speak highly of like the Fed, and there is very legitimate criticism, but there are some people that basically they want to just say everything about them is bad and they're totally wrong and they have no idea what they're doing. It seems, well, I guess, yeah, it seems like Powell is looking a little bit like a Chad right now. I'm not going to lie, because everyone was saying, everyone was saying that, yeah, he's just telegraphing. He's not actually going to be able to raise rates. The economy would crash. You know, we can't handle it and whatever. And he did, and he kept on doing it, and nothing happened. I mean, the stock market's down, but unemployment's still low. I mean, people argue that, you know, it takes time to really set in. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. But I'm saying, like, people like Peter Schiff weren't saying that it would take a couple months after they start these major rate hikes for the economy to crash. I mean, it seems like maybe Powell was right all along. I mean, I did see his interview. He's definitely an intelligent guy. I mean, you could be critical of all the QE that they did, but it does seem like they raise rates and the economy's, you know, cooling off. The question is, I guess, is it sustainable, or are these rate hikes going to be so bad that they're going to have to just resort right back to QE, you know, and just pumping all this money into the economy to sustain it? But I don't know. It's being that they're pivoting now and things aren't, well, it's a sort of pivot. They're not pivoting in the sense that they're going to stop the rates or slash them, but they're pivoting in the sense that they're starting to lower the rate at which they hike. So being that they're doing that, and unemployment's still kind of low. I mean, that is kind of contrary to everything that everyone said. All the people like Peter Schiff and Jim Rickards that, you know, we were going to go into this total depression because the Fed was going to hike rates. But I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's all in terms of the article. Now we're just going to look at the chats again. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're enjoying the show, and please follow me on Twitter. Yeah, and also, yeah, hit the subscribe. I'm going to try and stream at 12 every day. Might as well do it, except for Saturday, but even Sunday. Yeah, tune in. Furufinance, 12 p.m. It's just a lot easier to do it with live streaming and then, you know, sending out clips than to film individual clips and edit it and things like that. I think it just goes a lot more naturally. But please hit the subscribe, hit the like, put your email on the list, you know, so we could be in touch. But let's get into the comments. If you have any questions, whatever you want, just ask it. Can't say I can answer it well, but you can definitely ask it. Got Ted Cash. It's going on, Ted Cash. Nice to see you here again. First day of December for Finance. That's right. And tomorrow is the third birthday. It's the third birthday for Hex, and hopefully I'll be on Matty Allen's stream. XRP Isaac. How do I make you mod? Bad timing with Kanye West, Alex Jones. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so if you can't watch it because of that, then check out the replay. But for all you watching in the replay, please hit the like and subscribe. Got Joey Talks Boxing, retirement. Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want here. We want to turn into a retirement community. The Hex community hopefully will be a retirement community, and we'll play golf, and we'll do the swimming and aerobics classes, and, you know, just sit around. I'll move to a retirement community of like a bunch of like 20, 30-year-olds in a retirement community. Crypto freedom. You should look into PZen, Conrad Zen's token. Do your own research. Immutable code. No staking. No lockup. No middlemen. Compounding rewards after every transaction. 100% DeFi. So yeah. Well, didn't they have that before with SafeMoon? He didn't directly copy the code, but that's the problem. He's saying no staking, no lockup. The lockup is a great thing. The lockup is what prevents you from selling early, and the lockup is what is what allows the price to go up. If you have people that are just liquid and can sell at any time, yeah, granted they'll pay a little pay it forward fee, but you're going to get shaken out, and it's not good for the price because people could really sell it at any time. Like so I'm saying, like, all the people that got in early, they're probably going to sell they're going to either drain the liquidity pools if there's no people that are coming in after, or they're going to sell early, and they're going to be more prone to timing the market and things like that. But I don't know. And also, like, you have to understand, even if this does well, I mean, I have to choose between my money is finite. I'm saying I could only be in so many projects. And in my opinion, the tokenomics, which matter, tokenomics are the most important thing in the long run, tokenomics, community, things like that. It's certainly inferior. I think it's inferior. You don't have the T-share rate that keeps on going up. You don't have the inflation to protect the price. You could sell at any time. It's been tried with other tokens. There might be some minor changes and things like that, but yeah, it's been tried. SafeMoon was a rug. I guess you could say maybe Conrad is not going to rug pull. There's definitely less of a chance of that because he is wealthy, but it's definitely not going to outperform Hex, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but you could do your own research. You could figure out which one you prefer. I remember one of the things he was saying was that, like, it's good because some people can't lock up their money. They need to have it liquid so they could sell. It's like, if you're investing money into crypto that you need liquid, you know what I'm saying? If you're investing money into crypto that you might need in the near future, you should not be in crypto. You are going to get wrecked. You need a 2, probably 4-year time horizon at least. It might be get rich quick. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but if you're in the right project, but you need to be holding for more than, you can't have that mindset. Like, I need liquid tokens that, I have to sell. You're going to be prone to timing the market. And the fact that you need that money is going to probably get you shaken out, in my opinion, but not financial advice. Crypto freedom. I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. Show your support, like and subscribe. Is he saying to his channel? He's plugging his channel here. I don't know. Like and subscribe to my channel though. What's up with the focus? I can't see much. I don't know, man. New camera. Sorry about that. I don't know. I'll try and fix it. But thanks, Darren Riley. Appreciate you tuning in. Sweaty. Hi. How's it going? All on train. All on chain. So true. All on chain. 0x Loopy. I've got plenty of info from you. Thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's good to know that, my info is helping people out. I got a lot of what I know from, obviously, Richard Hart and previous in other streamers, not previous, they're still streaming, but like Matty Allen, Hexologist. It's on a little bit of a break, but what's his name? Crypto Coffee. So just passing it forward. But really, it means a lot to me that you're getting a lot of info from me, and I hope it really helps. Do you think Hex is in a very special discount ATM? I don't know about ATM, but it's definitely at a very special discount, in my opinion, not financial advice. And if I have my Hex stake, will I get a copy of my ERC20? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. It's a system state copy. So the state of the system is of the hex is staked in the smart contract affiliated with your wallet. So yes, that smart contract is going to be copied over in your wallet. Yes, you will. And yeah, it's just on a different chain, but you change the networks. Yes, you will get it copied over. Great video cast, mate. Thank you, Gorav Wankid. I hope I pronounced that well, but thank you. I appreciate that. Sweaty, 0x Loopy. Yep. Thank you, Sweaty. Term is shyster. Hope you're not referring to Richard, but yes, FEO Sapien. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that you tune in. And same for Ted Cash and XRP Isaac, although you got to change that name, bro. But I appreciate you guys tuning in regularly. And tomorrow at 12 p.m., I plan on going live every day, 12 p.m. except Saturday. The interview was an attempt to allow him back into polite society. The only problem is SBF makes it impossible. It's a great point. That is a great point. Yeah, he does make it impossible. Yeah, that's why his lawyer, I heard one of his lawyers left him because they're just so frustrated that he can't listen. Like, I remember he was in the interview, he's doing his like shaking thing, and Sorkin like mentioned how you lost people's money, and he sort of like smirked like it's funny. Like bad look, man. It's a bad politician. He's not a good face for your company. He's not so professional. Walks around with those, what do you call it? With those baggy cargo shorts and whatever. Not a good dude. Hey kids. Hey X-Ray Vision. Thanks for tuning in. Good info, Furu. Give me a short-term goal of yours to add to my crypto scavenger hunt. Short-term, thank you for the nice words. Short-term goal of mine is Hex, to get more Hex and to buy PulseChain when it launches. I already have PulseX. But yeah, that's really my short-term goal. Okay. I heard a YouTuber say yesterday that it doesn't make sense to stake Hex unless it's 100,000 Hex because of the current fees you pay when the stake is undone. Do you know an example of fees paid by anyone? I don't know if you could really make a blank, Adam Johnson. Thanks for the comment, Adam, first of all. Second, I don't know if you can make a blanket statement like that. Right now, the fees are not that high. The problem is if we're in a bull market. During the bull market, I remember it was like close to $1,000 sometimes on Ethereum to really unstake. So, but at the same time, there's tremendous price appreciation going on. So even if, let's say, you got it's a very complicated question. There's no one size fits all. It depends on the gas fees at the time, right? It depends on the price of Hex at the time. There are going to be some instances where it's not worth your while to unstake, where if in the event where the Hex that you're unstaking is not as valuable as the fee to unstake, then yes, you're better off just trading the cash that you'd otherwise have spent on unstaking. You're better off just trading it for liquid Hex and letting that stake just bleed. I don't know why he's saying 100,000. I mean, it's a complicated question, but I mean, the question you really have to ask is, I mean, it depends on how Hex performs. If let's say you put in, let's say, $500 to stake for a year, and Hex does 100x, so you have 50. That's $50,000. $500, 500. Just make sure I'm doing the math right. 500 times 100. Yeah, you have $50,000. and then you're paying 1,000, which is extremely high to unstake, it's obviously worth it. If that's what Hex does in a year from now when your stake comes up. So, and that's a lot less than 100,000. So it really just depends on future price. But my thesis is in the long run that Ethereum fees will get better. So within the next couple of years, which is why I still stake on Ethereum. And obviously, all that gets copied over onto PulseChain. So that 100,000 Hex is going to be very cheap, seemingly, on PulseChain to unstake. So you always have that. But I don't know. You got to do your own research. It's a very complicated question. Hit the like, hitting the bell because of your amazing head of hair. Thank you, Hex Revision. And all of you guys, please hit the like and subscribe. At Joey Talks Boxing, hell yeah, 1 million families find free by the 2028, 2029 wave. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And if you guys are into boxing, you could watch Joey Talks Boxing. He's got some good stuff on that. Celt Hex, aka Gamion. However, we came to the conclusion, would you be able to flash loan your gas? Not sure exactly what that means. Flash loan your gas. I'm not exactly sure. I'll look into that. Interesting question. I guess that's it for the comments. Again, thank you guys all for tuning in. We got 26 watching. Financially free, yes. Please, all of you, if you haven't, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow me on Twitter, and click the email list link in the description and put your email in. Yesterday, I had 34 watching, and I got 2 emails. So if we could beat that, that would be awesome. But if not, I just thank you for tuning in, and tune in tomorrow at 12 p.m. and we'll discuss more Hex, PulseChain, PulseX, and broader crypto markets. Thank you, guys.